All right, y'all. Give me just a second. I forgot like one thing. What's the motherfucking deal? But let me fix this like 10 seconds. All right. Alakazam, Alakababa, Open Sesame. All right, there we go. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why the Den is the best conversation on the internet is because of you, the denizens, the degenerates, the den folk, and all the friends in the Den. Look, don't start giving me no shit today. Look, we just got started. You two, don't be trying to fuck with your boy. I mean, we just got the party kicked off, and now you're already on some shenanigans. Hold on one second. Let's see what the fuck is really going on. Let me know if y'all catching a little bit of buffering. I see this shit is just doing what the fuck ever. Hold on just a second and get this right and get this right back. Let me see where we at. Let's try this again. I don't know what the fuck was just happening. All right. We'll try to get it right, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the Den. Apologize for that slight technical scenario. I don't know what was happening with it, but it was acting kind of, you know what I'm saying, acting a little crazy and all that. But, man, fuck daylight saving time. But tonight, man, we ain't really going to be on nothing too severe. We just going to shoot the shit, you know, like we do in the Den. And just talk about a couple of things. And some of the shit that is going on around the world, I guess you could say. And, you know, just do how we do in the Den. And then, you know, we'll open up the Den line, whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to speak on. Son of a bitch. I'm fucking up tonight, man. I'm telling y'all, look, I've been a little sluggish today. It's been one of them days. So I'm gonna talk my shit, and then we're gonna get it right here in just a second. Actually, let's get it out the way now. Let me just do this shit one more motherfucking time. Give me like 30 fucking seconds. I apologize for this tomfoolery on my behalf. I guess I put the sound on. Hopefully now I ain't got to do that shit no more. Excuse me. I had to go and get, I got to keep my notes proper. You know what I mean? So, again, we'll get this right. We're just going to shoot the shit. I'm going to talk a little bit of shit about some of the stuff that's been going on around the world, throwing my opinions on some things. Then we'll open up the Denline, and you guys can feel free to express whatever you're thinking about. Whatever's good, whatever's clever. We'll get it right and keep it right. So, okay, let me jot that down. So, first and foremost, before we get into any of this conversation, we got to talk about the most important thing that has been going on around the world, and that is you, the great friends of the den, the great denizens, the greatest people on the planet. Let me go ahead and shout y'all out, give y'all the love that y'all always deserve, and then we'll get into some things. Beach you online, what's the motherfucking deal? Jared Key, Stina Starriot, always good to see you. Anthony Bailey, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Heidi, lurking, working, and twerking, I see. Angel Wood, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, nobody want to lose that hour of sleep. That's so precious. Time is precious, and they just giving it away. Lady Licious, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. DeMarcus Johnson, what's the motherfucking deal? Made it chapter 8. Oh, good grief. Yeah, that bitch is how many chapters is it? Like 1,000? 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Let me see. Footballer 503, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? Slim Hardaway, Kenneth, let me see. Mick Fitz. Let me see. Sean, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. H-Town Lifer. Wise, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Make sure I ain't missing nobody. Giant Mess, what's the motherfucking deal? All right, hold on one second. Anywho, we got plenty to talk about. We're gonna get into discussion, but first, let me make sure I do the right shit because I always forget to do the shit. And there it goes. Look, I see you. YouTube trying to do whatever the fuck it's trying to do. I see what it's trying to do. It's on the shenanigans, on the buffering. Let me see. Where are you at? Make sure you're following the Den on all the proper socials at Den Show Live on Facebook.com/Den Show Live, Twitter and Instagram at Den Show Live. So make sure you're following on all of those in the proper location. Yeah, it's trying to hit me with it. Yeah, it's trying to hit me with the wrong. And it's like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna hit somebody else with the wrong? We're gonna hit you with it. But yeah, same name, different platforms. Try to keep it simple. Let me see what's going on with this motherfucker. Like it's doing some crazy stuff. Oh, that must be why it's been tripping. Make sure if you ever want to contact the Den, you can always call it 1-833-284-3336. Even when the Den Show is not live, if you ever want to leave some constructive criticism, a topic idea, whatever thoughts are on your mind, feel free to shoot it to the line. denshowlive@gmail.com. If you want to leave some info, if you just want to shout something out, shoot the shit with somebody, or shoot the shit to me, I guess I could check it out, not just somebody. And if you ever want to tell your friends about the Den, thedenshow.com. So, let me make sure. And yes, if you want to support the Den, go to streamlabs.com/thedenshow, and there are some other links in the bottom if the Streamlabs is not working for you. So, let me see. I'm trying to figure out why this shit is just late. Man, I ended up having to take care of some stuff, man, and it took significantly longer than anticipated, so there was no sauce today. I had planned on doing 2 sauces, and I didn't do fucking any of them. So I apologize for that. So, but like I said, we'll make it up mañana. We'll get some action going. Everything else is in order. Simply Deep, the day is going well. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't, plus fuck with the deal, gonna be zombies. The day has been going relatively well, man. I can't complain outside of that. Just a busy day. So I'm running up and downstairs. So I start sweating and shit. Hold on, look. I ain't trying to have a Sweat den. Look, so you can tell the weather about to start changing because it started getting hot up in this bitch. You know, when it's cool, it stays relatively cool. When it gets hot, oh man, yeah. Some of y'all haven't. Some of y'all ain't been around for some of them hot dens. And motherfucking me start melting in this bitch. But let's talk about what's been happening, man. So, you know, I know R. Kelly got let go. I know that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And, you know, his lawyer had spoke about some things, and I found that very interesting because he made some good points. And he's like, you know, we're all making decisions. We're all judging. You know, we don't know what's what. You know, we're just going by our opinions. And the media is definitely swaying the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of how we feel, and you can take the media out of it, I know how I still feel personally about it. But again, I'm not the judge or the jury. And there's definitely been a large impact. And you can tell that the powers that be are definitely trying to, you know, push the situation. You know, we're talking about this child support thing, and I think the reason why he ended up going back and he didn't go when he was, I think, in jail the first time was that I think he had a March 6th date. And you got to look at some things, man. You know, because some facts came out, and I'm just looking at it and saying that, oh yeah, he still got plenty of fans. Oh, that's the thing. He got plenty of fans. But this man was paying what he said it was $160,000 in back child support. And so to most people, that means, you know, hey, he must have been avoiding this for years and years. But you got to look at his situation, right? This is R. Kelly. Recently, I want to say fall of last year, maybe a little bit before then, and I actually said, I think some people said some accusations came out in 2017, but there has been more and more backlash against this man. It's been probably more and more difficult for him to, you know, get work. You got to think about, when was this child support initially filed, or when did he originally have to, you know, start making these payments? And I'm sure that he didn't think that the well would just dry completely up as it has. You know, he talked about people stealing from it and everything else. I don't know all those details. But $20,000 a month is a lot of fucking child support. Yeah, somebody went and paid, apparently. Somebody went and paid the $160,000 apparently that he's supposed to be behind. This is allegedly. And they didn't say who. There's no information on the thing. I think he has to go back to court Wednesday. I think that's child support court or whatever. But, you know, when you really look at it like that, you're like, well, damn, you know, okay, first, 8 months is a long time, but $20,000 a month? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like $20,000 a month. Like, what the fuck are you really spending? Like, that makes me feel almost more like, you know, I can understand if this was like over some years. He just been avoiding it. But let's think about the things that have happened. Again, I'm not trying to file sympathy for R. Kelly or anything like that. But the thing about it is $20K a month. So that's about 8 months. And all of this stuff that's been coming out the last few months, it's been several months. And I know it's getting more and more difficult for him to be able to, you know, make money, because everybody's trying to mute R. Kelly. So you can't sit here and holler, mute R. Kelly, and then talk about he's not paying child support, because how else does he make money? I mean, and we got to be reasonable. We got to be sensible here. Let's be for real. He's an artist. He makes money through music, whatever streaming services. How long ago was it that the streaming services, Spotify? That was about that time last year, right? Spotify stopped playing his shit, or said they were taking all this shit off of there. So that's a source of income. And some of these other places, you know, taking his music off, that's a source of income. A big hit to his pocket, right? And then you got to think about, again, like I say, him being able to do live concerts, him being able to do performances and things like that. If more and more people are making these allegations, okay, it's fewer and fewer people who are going to fuck with him. So my thing is, you know, how can you can't sit here and talk about this man ain't shit, or he's a piece of shit, he's not paying his child support, when he's not making any money for the same reason that you're trying to shut him down. It's not like he's got millions stored up in the bank. We know that he doesn't have his money like that. Otherwise, you know, we'd have seen him handling things a lot differently. Probably wouldn't have heard any of these allegations in the first place had he had money. But, you know, the thing is, you have to be reasonable. You don't have to like the man, but you have to be reasonable and pay attention to what's really going on. And yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Spotify's trash, and I really hate it because I have Spotify, but I'm just I need to switch it up, because I think Verizon, when you have certain plans, you get Apple Music for free. So I think I'm gonna have to just switch that shit up because I hate paying. I just forget that it's on fucking auto pay and it pays every month. I'm like, God damn, I swear I plan to cancel. And I swear last month because it was on like, you know, that it's on the PayPal fucking, like, you know, PayPal agreement, so it automatically takes it out last month. Like, I canceled that shit and they still charge my shit. And so I gotta make sure I'm on top of that because, like, I really don't like Spotify because all they do is promote a bunch of gay music and stuff like that. Whenever Drake drops an album, the whole fucking thing is Drake. And I've never listened to Drake on that bitch. Like, my actual playlist selections be like 3 or 4 rows down. Like, I don't want this other shit you trying to force on me, man. Like, that shit is bullshit. But, you know, $20K per month. Let's be realistic. If those kids are hurting, then it's the mom's fault. Like, let's come on, $20K a month. If those kids are in a bad way, and this is just child support, like, I don't know the alimony or any other kind of situation like that. I don't know what's going on with that. But we're talking just child support. We're talking about, what, $250,000 a year in child support? If those kids are hurting, it's because mom is definitely mismanaging some funds. You know what I mean? Rich babysitters, they have others who can raise their kids and parents. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I say, man, there has to be a cap on it. Like, I don't care. Like, child support being based off how much someone makes is ridiculous. And then the thing is that it fluctuates. Sometimes people lose jobs. Like, again, I told you I had a friend who had a situation where he was, you know, contracted. Baby mama hit him with fucking child support when he had a good job going on. A job that only lasts, you know, a few months, maybe about half a year or so, and then you move on to other gigs where you may not be getting paid as much. You're not getting per diem or other things, you know, so your expenses are more and you're not making as much. And then, you know, they didn't want to hear that shit. You know, you still got to pay the amount that you were making back then when you're not consistently making that kind of money. So my thing is, you gotta look at these situations. You know, we gotta take our what is it, the rose-colored glasses. I don't know what color they are for R. Kelly, but you gotta be reasonable, man. And I think it's kind of fucked up. So hopefully that situation gets resolved because he's not making any money. And I mean, if the man couldn't bail himself out at that rate and somebody else had to take care of it, any sensible judge in the world is going to say, okay, we got to reduce that because this just isn't fair. But there's so much bias against him, and a lot of those judges happen to be female and not to. I mean, let's be realistic. They kind of have a bias already. You know, I don't want to wear them glasses. I definitely should have took them off. But, you know, so hopefully that matter gets resolved. And so I know there's a lot of shit talk going on about R. Kelly, but once those figures kind of came out, I think it makes a little bit more sense when you really look at his situation and you can say, okay, well, the man hasn't really been making money. The man hasn't really been, he's had tours canceled, all of this stuff from the shit that, you know, that people are out there doing. But then, you know, you want to make him say he's a deadbeat dad or whatever else it is. But shit, the last few months, he hasn't made any fucking money really. So I think that's crazy. And that's why I agree, Sean. It's like, how can you $20K a month? That's a lot of fucking money. Like, I don't look, 2-3 months, you're making more money than most people. Like 2 months, honestly, you're making most in the, like, over 50% of Americans make a year. So I'm not feeling sympathetic to the kids or the baby mama in that situation. Like, you know, and again, it's court ordered, so I'm not saying it's on them. The court's going to get involved when it gets to a certain amount of money, but it's just, come on, something has to be resolved in that situation. I think people got to stop trying to make him seem like he's a deadbeat too, when you can't hate on him with the mute R. Kelly and say, okay, oh, he's a deadbeat. Now, he ain't making no fucking money. That's that. Something else happened that I wanted to fucking discuss. Something else happened. Fuck. Man, I seen something on Twitter the other day. Actually today. And they were talking about trying to bring back the Freaknik. Let me tell y'all youngsters something. Y'all couldn't handle no Freakniks, no Kappas. Like, when shit was live like it used to be, y'all could not handle, not this day and age, this generation could not handle no shit like that. Now, and it was funny because I saw somebody say, y'all chicks be trying to put niggas on blast for, you know, the wrong nigga in your DMs. Y'all definitely wouldn't be able to handle the way motherfuckers was behaving at Freaknik. Like, come on. Like, that shit was outrageous. And then niggas wouldn't be able to do it because niggas, you know, Y'all ain't got no cool this young generation. Everything got to be put out on the fucking internet. And y'all gonna be blasting everybody. Like, everybody gonna be out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers. Somebody, I asked my mom if she went to Freaknik back in the day. She started labeling all the ones she went to. Like, them hoes used to be. Often now they not bringing that shit back. There's no way you could, because everybody. It would be the tamest ass shit. One, Oh, it's gonna be the real wildest of the wild motherfuckers gonna be out there doing it. Because let's be honest, it used to be some motherfuckers you thought was good girls back at home base. They go out to Freaknik, they go out to the Kappa, they go out to some of these beach events. They start losing they shit. You know what I'm saying? Would lose they shit. So now with everybody having phones and everything, trust me, you couldn't do nothing. You post that shit up, they're going to hit you with revenge porn laws. They're going to hit you with all kind of shit. Like, come on, man. It just ain't happening. So I've seen, people talking about bring that back. Y'all young motherfuckers couldn't handle no shit like that. Because like I say, the dudes, y'all don't know how to be cool. Keep that shit under wraps. And like I say, females will be pressing charges on any and everybody who doing whatever it is. Anyway, let's see. It's something, and damn it, it's something else. I should have wrote shit down because I left my shit up there. That's why I ran to go get it. It's something else I want to talk about, but it was something I want to say had to do with entertainment and the entertainment industry. But yeah. It was cool. The cap was cool, man. Yeah, it wasn't too wild. You know what I'm saying? It was straight. But you think that 90s era sports was the best sports? Yeah, I think so, because that's before shit started getting too soft, and it was about money. Of course, everything was about money, but that's when it wasn't overwhelmingly all about money. It was like motherfuckers were. The aggression was still there. The emotion was still there. The thing that I believe brought most people into sports was the 90s era of sports, because it was real. It was still genuine. The athleticism was there. The aggression, the emotion, all those things were there. Now, the dudes, like, I saw a thing. I saw Adam Silver talking about athletes nowadays and saying that most of these athletes have depression. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a shit. and it sounds fucked up, right? And it sounds really fucked up. Because, from our perspective, because Charles Barkley was talking about it, and they were like, well, Charles Barkley, he shouldn't be able to. Like, these motherfuckers, make more money. They have everything they want in the world at their disposal, but most of them are depressed. I honestly don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look, big dog, you got it better than most people. You got everything you want at your whim. Yeah, you might not be able to trust people or this, that, and the third because they just want you for your money. But shit, it's the same way when you're a regular motherfucker. Like, you can't trust nobody. You got $2 or $3, they trying to get you for that, So I can't necessarily say that I feel bad for sports stars or celebrities or anything who feel depression. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to that type of shit. So, and again, that's a good question. Is more money, more problems? Is that a thing? With these people who, because they say this generation now, and I guess it correlates, I guess the young stars included, is the most depressed generation of all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, they talk about it, they complain about everything, but I'm telling you what it is. It's really all, unfortunately, the social media. You know what I mean? It's the social fucking media. And the reason why is because people are in a constant state of comparison. It didn't used to be like that. Even when the internet was a thing, it wasn't about comparing. Well, people weren't trying to see, what's this the most lavish place, or what does this person have? They were just looking at shit they found interesting on AOL chat, ASL, and shit like that. But now, such and such got a contract, and they think he's the best, and they complain about that because of the 24-hour news cycle. It's about the constant need of information. It's about the access through social media, to the fans and things. You got half the fans talking about you trash, you a bitch, you ain't shit, and the other half, praising you, and you feeling all fucked up about it. But honestly, it is what it is. You got a few million at the house, you ain't broke, fuck that. Go somewhere where the fucking internet don't work, where the Wi-Fi is broke, and you can relax and get your fucking mind right, But outside all that other stuff, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They are. They're fucking idolized. They're worshipped. They're praised, put on a pedestal for nothing. And it's like almost the younger you are, the more praise you get. It's weird in America. Other places, they praise you know, the elders, the people who have had wisdom, who've had experience. Now it's about the youngest, goofiest motherfucker you can find who's just saying and doing some anything. Let's put him on a pedestal. Yeah, he knows. Motherfuckers don't be knowing shit, haven't lived fucking life, but yeah, we put them on the pedestal. We praise them. That's been around since like MTV. That's been like the MTV thing. So I think that's terrible. And the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll open up the Denline because I've been running my mouth here for a minute. The big girl who is suing fucking Future, right? So I was looking into that kind of situation. I didn't realize that they were being sued, and I didn't realize it only became news because of this chick who made a big deal about it, right? So, and I'm not sure how it works, but I don't think clubs are necessarily a public venue because, I mean, everybody gets discriminated. If you ain't wearing the right shit, if they don't like your look or this, that, or the third, you're not, motherfuckers not going to let you, yeah, you can pay like you weigh, and, you know, sometimes they'll let you slip in the back door or whatever. Those are low-level things. That's not necessarily what we're talking about here. But the chick who apparently was some plus-size model and claims, oh, it wasn't even because I wanted to see Future. I just wanted to go to that club that day. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. You know, whatever you say. Because if it wasn't such a big deal, you wouldn't be all on there fuck Future and doing all this other stuff. You would, you know, that'd have been a different way you would have handled it. But again, so she goes on and she says, oh, they said no big girls allowed. So he asked my friend, she knows a promoter. And so we all automatically supposed to take this friend as facts, like she's the end all be all, like she just with you and y'all ain't getting in. So I think that's just thrown off. But the reason why I say it's thrown off is because you're suing, you're trying to sue Future because you couldn't get into the club because they had a no big girl policy that day. But here's my thing. She never even showed up to the club. You know what I mean? Like, if you never even showed up to the club, you were supposedly on your way, but you knew the promoter, and I'm pretty sure, I guess, because, you know, she probably had some other little backdoor connections, or she thought she was going to get some special treatment. You knew the promoter, and he said you might as well not come. And so you didn't even go to the fucking club. Like, that's what I don't understand. So what did you really miss out on if you didn't really make an attempt to even go and get in? You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. You called, or your friend knew the promoter. He said that Future said, you know, or that tonight no big girls are getting in. You didn't even go, right? You had plans to go, supposedly. But because you heard that, you didn't even go, and now you're mad about it. And so now you're going to sue. And then now you're trying to tell him he has to denounce it. Like, motherfuckers don't have to do shit. If a motherfucker don't like big girls, he ain't got to denounce a motherfucker. He doesn't have to do it. Like, that's what I get frustrated with about this modern era. Is motherfuckers always think somebody has to do something because they want them to. Like, just because you may have a fan base, just because you may have a segment of people who praise you and laud every move you make, and they think you're just, don't mean you get to tell some other motherfucker what they have to fucking do. You know, like, you don't have to, you know, fucking distance himself. I mean, he needs to publicly distance himself from that club if he didn't really say that, or he didn't really do. He doesn't have to do any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to do any of these fucking things. You know what I'm saying? And it bothers me that people feel like you have the right to tell somebody what to do, but then you'd be the first motherfuckers that be talking about somebody, you can't tell me what to do, or I do what I want. And I found that very annoying, but I just found the whole thing extremely annoying is the fact that you didn't even go to the club. So it's not like you really got rejected. You had some he say, she say, hearsay, some he say, she say, and didn't go find out for yourself. And then you just get on social media and start ranting. And just because everybody needs some gossip, everybody needs some story, they just automatically believe you. And here's why I really couldn't take it seriously, because if it was really an issue, take off the stupid fucking Snapchat filter and really talk about the shit. You got all these goofy ass butterflies and shit floating across you where you're trying to sit there and talk about, oh, I'm upset because, you know, this, and this. Like, none of that makes any sense to me. You know what I mean? None of this shit makes any sense to me. And I guess it just has to be this newer generation in the way that they feel like things are supposed to be handled. I don't fucking know. I don't really know. And it's all bothersome to me. But here's the deal. Let's damn, I'm out of there today. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. That's probably the case. You know what I'm saying? Probably lying and saying some old shenanigans. Let us get this line opened up properly. Give me just a second. All right, let's slide this way, right here in the corner. Don't you do it, YouTube. Uh-oh. 335 is now 336. Hold up, man. So again, whatever's on your mind, whatever's clever, we're going to open up the Denline, we're going to chop it up, we're going to talk about it. Now, here is the deal while we're talking about these things. So, I've been saying and I've been talking about it, even though I haven't been following and sticking to the script. The dens are going to start being 2 hours, okay? And I think with it being daylight savings time, it's perfect. So 10 p.m. Central Time, my time, to midnight, maybe slightly daylight savings time, maybe slightly after. Sometimes I get the stream start a few minutes late, so I'll make up for that. But and the reason why is because I'm gonna be honest, it's impacting my sleep, the carryover. And I want to be able to do 2 things. And one is about bringing y'all better content. So I don't want to just be, draining out. So that way we keep the calls coming and everything's kind of flowing and going. And, if we got a good conversation going, we can always carry it over to the next evening. But again, like I say, it has had some impact on, my day-to-day activities. And then later in the evening when I have to handle, the sports channel and some other things, it's just... I can feel the sluggishness and things like that carrying over. So just to provide better content, I think in the long run, overall, with everything that I'm fucking with. And, like I said, making the decision to keep this thing going, but I have to be more organized and I have to be on top of that, So I got to be more organized all the way around. So that's just kind of how we're going to handle it from henceforth. About the 2 hour mark, we get ready to start shutting it down and all that other stuff. But, hey, it'll be a great 2 hours every night, and we'll make it shake. So, no, everybody, look, that's yo. I don't want no smoke, man. I ain't starting no beef. But yeah, so. That's what I say. So we'll make sure, like I say, everything just flows smoothly. But outside of that, that's the only real major change. And that's really it. So, we'll have a consistent time every night, 2 to 12, not 2 to 12, 10 to 12. Yeah, and like I said, at 12, shut all the calls down and start winding shit down for the wrap up and all that good stuff, or maybe slightly just a little bit before. So outside of that, man, like I say, just crazy stuff that's been going on in the world. I'm trying to think. I still feel like I'm forgetting something that was taking place that I've just completely fucking forgot about. Honcho, do you own a Honcho? Keep it in your car. It's a lifesaver. That rated bad. Oh, a poncho. I don't know. I got to find one. I don't know if I got one in my size. Yes, cutting the day short. That's crazy. But, again, it's like I say, just a wild world we live in. And again, it's funny because the same people who tell you, not to judge them, not to have this opinion on them, not to do this, that, and the third, are the same ones who want to enforce their opinions on others, and I find that odd. Why do you think that is a thing? Why do you think people don't realize that they're doing the same thing that they're trying to tell other people not to engage in? Do you think from their perspective that they don't see it as the same? Or just because they only really want people to see shit from their perspective? Oh, hold up. I got 2 wins. Said the loudest free will are the most hypocritical. Yeah, and I agree. Because, I look at a lot of stuff and a lot of people change their opinions based on certain situations. It could be, political affiliation. It could be race. It could be sex. It could be location. It could be anything. If people feel a connection with one party doing a certain thing, and it could be the exact same thing going on the other side, they'll condemn everybody on the other side who's engaged in it, but then downplay it when it's more relative to them. And so, again, I don't understand that. Hey, if it's bad, it's bad. All the other things shouldn't apply. Everything else should be irrelevant. But there's a lot of favoritism. It's a lot of bias. And again, I understand. Just because one side does it don't mean that you should do it too. I think that's, well, they're doing it over there. So, if that works for you, if that justifies your argument, but I don't think that's how it applies. Oh, I remember what it was. That fucking dude, Terry Crews, right? So, old terrible Terry and his whole hyper masculinity and men suck and #MeToo campaign. So I guess the other day, the people that he's trying to represent have turned on him. Yeah, y'all don't want to call in, y'all don't want the action. But I guess they've turned on him because let me put that up there. There we go. They've turned on him because he said something about that he feels that, he made some comments about family. And the thing that he said was, he has nothing against, single parents and same-sex parents, but children need, paternal and maternal love. And it's like vitamins for their growth or something, he said like that. Yeah. And so, boy, the Alphabet Soup crew got highly upset. I guess people who had single parents got highly upset. Like, what people have to do is, people got to stop doing this. All right. Like, I was primarily raised by my mom. Me, my mom and dad, we were a family. We were doing that family thing up until about, I say like 3rd grade, and they split. So I was probably 9 or so, 9 or 10, I think 9, whatever that is. I think 9, because I think 4th grade was 10. Anyway. And so, it's cool. But really, at that time, he had some other shit going on. And he helped in certain areas, I guess. He had his impact. But, a difference. You can definitely tell a difference. You do need perspectives from both sides. Okay? He wasn't perfect. Wasn't really all that great. But he did leave some lasting impressions that some of them were helpful, some of them weren't. I recognize the flaws that occurred being in a single parent home. And I think it depends if you never had that, maybe you can't make that comparison. But if you've always been, just a single parent, you're going to feel some type of way. But people got to start learning to take the personal attachment out of shit and really take a look at what's going on. And that's what happens, is because there's so many people who are, or, the same sex thing going on. People get offended because it doesn't necessarily apply to them, or it makes them feel like they're outcast from the conversation, or, whatever it may be. But nobody wants to be Roman first. That's fucked up. But the thing about it, though, is, we gotta get away from that, and we gotta recognize what's real. We gotta get away from all the emotional shit. And that's where we are right now. We're emotional attachment to every fucking argument. Nobody wants to approach it logically and say, hey, there is some factual basis to this. And so basically what he said was, that they'll be healthier or whatever, that they'll be, it's like vitamins, and they'll have a healthier outcome. So somebody, I guess, tweeted him and said, hey, well, single parents or same-sex parents, the kid won't starve into something to that extent. But he said, yeah, they might not starve, but they'll be extremely malnourished. And and I was like, okay, Terry, I see you trying to finally stand up for yourself. Maybe you got your nuts back. Oh, buddy must have sent them back to you in the mail. And he deleted that. And then he started back on his Terry Crews thing, trying to fucking over-explain. And, you know. But the thing about it is, let's be realistic, man. It is important to have all parties in the household. Now, if you choose a shitty mate, then they're going to be a shitty parent, and that will be unfortunate either way. But kids need balance. There is a certain thing that women, you know, maternally inclined women, because not every woman has those maternal features, maternally inclined women that they bring to the table. There are certain things that paternally inclined men bring to the table. Not every man has that. And so there is an impact that they will or won't bring to the table. But if both of you have planned and made the right decisions to do this, then that is the most stable outcome for a child. And I don't see anything wrong with that. But then you have some chick, lesbian, feminist, every other, you know, check mark under the fucking thing. And she just wrote why, you know, Terry Crews isn't an ally because of all this stuff he said. And here's the thing. And this is what I'm saying, that people want you to agree with every single fucking thing they say. There's no independent thought. Why is this shit? It is terrible. Let me see here. Hold on, it's just, like I said, I know I'm getting some buffering here. It's looking terrible here. I don't know why it is looking so bad. Give me just a second. Let me see what we got going on. Let's do that. Okay. Mute Honcho. Yes, I got y'all. We ain't gonna. I'm gonna make sure to try to remember. Sometimes you have to agree or disagree, but people feel they're right with their opinions. People don't want to admit that they're wrong, and that's the thing. I would rather admit that I'm wrong and grow. Because there's a lot of times that I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. It is uncomfortable, but shit, you know, it's uncomfortable to walk around continually being wrong. You know, it's better to be wrong once, get corrected, figure it out, and grow from that experience than to consistently engage in that same behavior over and over. It's like, you know, running into a wall. But the thing about it is, what I'm saying is just that, you know, if you don't agree with someone wholeheartedly, and this is why I say this whole intersectionality and the alphabet shit and all that other stuff, it's weird. Because if we watched that Vice thing, and I don't know how many people did, but if you watch that Vice thing, the gay liberal guy, you know, he was always referring to LGBTQ, LOP, OPP, you know, MOP, all that other stuff, all the letters that go with it. But then the gay Republican guy's like, well, you know, he didn't subscribe to all that. He's just, I'm a gay conservative. That's it. It was just about being gay. He didn't attach all the other letters. He didn't put himself in the categories of all those other things. And so I think perspective is a motherfucker, man. I think that's the part. Like, you have so many people who want to be a part of a group, and that's why I say you got this Me Too thing, you got all this other stuff that's going on. You got so many people who want to be a part of a group, of a movement. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze and it sounded terrible. I didn't want y'all to see or hear that. So, but you have so many people who want to be part of these movements, part of these groups, because they feel weak, they feel victimized, that, you know, there's power in numbers and all this other stuff. Man, fuck all that. So I think part of the thing is, you know, to see two guys who basically have a similar situation and different perspectives for them. But the thing about this is, you know, looking at that, and like I say, you know, it's crazy, and it's and people, these type of people who want this, oh, everybody should agree with us, or like I said, it's a lot, again, like I say, the the feminists, the alphabet, the LGBT, the you could say even Black Lives Matter or whatever, any of these kind of groups like that are trying to say, if you don't wholeheartedly agree with what I'm saying, then you're the enemy. And they're wondering why they lose constantly, and people continue to disassociate themselves. And they continue to get proven wrong, or they continue to get, exposed in so many ways, because one, it's an emotional connection, and it's not legitimate in the sense of that, it's fact-based, that they take, it seems more like anecdotes or certain situations and try to make that seem fact-based when it really doesn't apply across the board. So it's ironic that when people don't like being wrong, they end up being wrong about more than a normal person because they're ignorant to others' knowledge. Yeah, and I agree. It says children can be screwed up living in a traditional two-parent household if they have to witness domestic violence. Better for the child to live in peace with one loving parent if that's the case. Yeah. But, I think you're throwing a caveat in there, but absolutely. And I don't think that, and we talked about same sex. We looked at the statistics. This was a while back, though. Now, if there's a problem in the household, then yeah, you definitely got to do what you got to do, but you still don't exclude, the parent, a parent or the other parent from being a part of the child's life. Because then I think that there are a lot of situations where you do have situations where the father's not necessarily making himself available. Then you have a lot of situations where the mothers make it difficult because they still have an emotional attachment or something to the father. He may have moved on or wanted something different. So they use the child as a pawn. And I think that's worse than anything. I think when you use that child as a pawn, it's almost, what's the word I want to say? I think it takes away a part of that child's self-worth or its understanding of its self-worth, because it just looks at itself as a piece in a puzzle for the mom to continue to, get back at the pops. There's been a lot of situations, and this is conversations a lot of people have had that I've talked to, people with single parents, and and it's usually the single mom. And again, like I say, not to be overly biased, and if it don't apply, let it fly, but you have a lot of single moms who talk down very badly on the dads because of their own biases, because maybe the situation didn't work out between them, so they have a negative view. They have a negative vibe towards that man, and so they pass it on to the children without allowing the children to make an unbiased decision for themselves. Allow that child to be a part of their father's life. Don't add unnecessary hurdles to this man's life to see his children. There was something I saw the other day, and it was a man, he was on Facebook Live, and he was just like, hey, look, he had 4 kids. And I don't know if it was from 4 different women. I don't know what the situation was, but one of the children that he had was from one woman, and she was outside. She had called the police on this man simply because she wanted the kids back outside of the arranged date. So I think she was supposed to come pick him up on a Friday. I don't know what day that was. But she had called the police. Apparently they had court that week for child support payments or whatever. And the arrangement was that the kids would go back and forth every 2 weeks. So he had the kid for 2 weeks. I think he had it for a couple of more days. But she decided that, that she wanted the kid early. And here's the problem. Here's the problem, and I think this is something we got to talk about. Here's the problem. I think because society has, that old saying, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, or whatever it may be. But, it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to have a child, right? And we can talk about, deadbeat dads and guys who aren't in the picture. And that's a separate conversation, and we will have that discussion. But we have to talk about mothers who, when the man is not involved, or not, I'm not saying when he's not involved, but when it comes to using the child as a pawn and child support and things like this, it's her kid. It's her kid. Now, when you're collecting a payment, he sure had an involvement in it. But when it comes to the rights of the child, you don't want to give him any say-so. And that's something that bothers me a lot. That's something that bothers me a ton. You know what I'm saying? It says something that burns me up when you have an opinion other than the group and people want to downgrade your culture. Yeah, oh yeah. But then again, that's that groupthink, and there's a lot of issues that there's a ton of things that we can talk about that that has to do with that. But and we'll come back. Let me jot that down too, so I'll come back to that. But we got to stop using these children to be pawns in your emotional game. You know what I mean? You got to stop using these kids like checks. It's disgusting. And I'm not saying all women do it, but there's a significant number of women who do. And it's sickening. I think that there needs to be more stipulations. I honestly, truly feel like, and I don't see how it would be difficult, that if you are requesting a certain amount of money for your child, right? So especially like some of these celebrities and things like that, I think receipts need to be shown that equate to this amount of money. So if you're requesting $20,000 a month, then $20,000 a month in supplies, clothing, I don't care if it's trip, vacations, education, whatever, but it needs to go to that child to validate that. If you're not spending that entirety on the child or benefiting the child, and you can throw food and stuff in there too. But if you're not spending that entirety on the child, then you have to, you need to, then that number needs to be, brought down. I think every 6 months or so, it needs to be checked. Okay, hey, you're only spending $15,000. Okay, we're gonna bring that number down to 15,000 because you're not showing that you're able to use that. It's like, come on, man. We got to stop enabling some of these behaviors because motherfuckers are using these kids as a check. This is encouraging a lot of this behavior of thottery. Go chase down some celebrity. Go chase down some nigga who's making a lot of money. It's not necessarily about love. It's about a motherfucker that can take care of me the best. You know what I'm saying? I agree. There needs to be reform on it. There's just no way you just say, okay, an automatic percentage of what you make goes to a child. Because it's stupid. It's a stupid fucking policy. It doesn't make any sense because even if you were filthy, if you're fucking filthy rich and you make $1 million a fucking month, you're not spending $100,000 on a child. Anybody with business sense is not doing that. That's not how you become rich, by just blowing a bunch of money. So the fact that a percentage is used, I think a number needs to be generated. Hey, these are the needs of this child. I think that you should be able to take a portion of your household income, so rent, to keep a roof over the kid's head. But I don't think the whole rent needs to be, so I think it should be like half of your rent or mortgage payment, whatever the fuck it is. Because it should not be an incentive. What's the motherfucking deal, Jay? It should not be an incentive to have a child, especially with somebody wealthy or whatever. Because again, as I say, I think that undermines the whole principle of family structure. Because now it's like a lot of chicks out there who, spend money on me. I'm a, gold digger or whatever the fuck it is. We push a lot of this. You see it on the grams and the Twitters. And again, I'm not saying every woman is like this, the incentive. Not every woman is like this, but this behavior needs to be curtailed because it's starting to become more and more prevalent. Who can spend the most on me? It's not about love. It's about you. These motherfuckers, this bitch out here letting these niggas beat them up. You see some of these rappers and all this stuff who've had all these allegations, but then they go spend a little bit of money on them and they're happy. We got to get that mindset out of society, My thing is, I don't know, but look, hey, there's a lot of motherfucking devious motherfuckers out there. There's some devious people out there. I agree. I don't have that issue, but I agree. If you don't want to get caught up in that, don't have kids. But at the same time, though, you can have somebody telling you they love you and they care about you and want to be with you, and they can sell you that, man, people can act for a long time. And you think this person really cares about you and wants to start a family with you. And then as soon as all that happens, let me go ahead and get this check. I don't want to be with you no more. I don't want this. I just want you to pay me and, live my life. It happens quite often with some of these NBA players. 'Cause let's be honest, though, like a lot of these motherfuckers, and I've said it a bunch of times, is they are corny. They are corny, but they got money. So women are attracted to them. But a lot of these dudes are losers. Like if they didn't have sports or they didn't have some type of celebrity, a lot of these dudes are corny. Prenups. Very interesting. I think that's the thing that you got to consider. But then, I've seen motherfuckers say, "Oh, well, if you got me signing a prenup, must mean you don't really love me or trust me." And then, they fall for the bait, hook, line, and sinker. And there it is. Question: what do you do when you've tried everything you can possibly to get the father involved, but it just doesn't work? And then at that point, you gotta cut the ties. And that's an unfortunate situation, because any man who doesn't want to be a part of his child's life is not a man. How can you have something walking this earth and your seed, a product of you, and you not want to help it achieve the best possible life, and you not want it to receive the best education that you can, or for you to provide for it the best path in life that you can? Like, nobody's saying that you got to be all super friendly and cordial with the mom and all that all the time, but you got to do what's best for your child. Try to be agreeable, at least in the presence of the child. But what I was saying about the chick though, and the guy, basically, she got upset. She called the police on him, and he had all his paperwork together. He had his license together, and everything that he needed. So he went and took it out to the cops. But she was mad, and she called the cops just because she felt like she had more say so. Now, had it been any other way around, if he said, "Well, you're not doing this, so I want to come short on the child support this month," she'd have his ass back in court. There's too much leverage. So what I'm saying is, when it's a problem, a lot of the time it's both parents' problem. But when it's coming to a decision that, the woman wants to make, she feels like she has more control over the child. And so we got to get out of these ideas that we have. Like, if it's 50-50, if it's my child, your child, we both went in on this. Yes, you went through the hard part, and that's unfortunate. But we both got to be a part of every decision made. You don't have any more power than I do, even though the courts try to give it to you. You can't supersede whatever rules are put in place. But that's what you have a lot of. But again, I don't have that issue personally, so I can't speak on all of it. And it's unfortunate. But if a dude doesn't want to be a part of something that he's made, man, that's something I couldn't fathom. That's something I couldn't figure out. Say some men can't afford condoms. If you can't afford condoms, you don't need to be having no sex. You need to be no sex. And I'm not saying that just because of the kid factor. I'm saying that because there's a whole litany of other issues that could come about having unprotected sex. And if you can't afford the condoms, you ain't going to be able to afford everything else that you're going to need to fix those problems. So that's a no-go. That's definitely not a situation you want to end up in. Let's see, our culture's obsessed with sex. Yeah, absolutely. But think about it. Think about it. And I know motherfuckers want to say, and let's be real. Let's be 100% real. This is not bias, okay? This is not bias. These are facts that I'm about to drop. You have a lot of women say, well, we should be able to wear whatever we want to wear and not be judged for it. The same things that you reveal when you wear whatever you want to wear are the same things you reveal when you're in pursuit of attracting a man. If the same thing, then you know what you're doing. And it's a lot of women who know what they're doing. You're wearing overly tight-fitting stuff. You're wearing cleavage-revealing type things, shit that show your ass off, all this other stuff. But I want to wear what I want to wear. Then you're going to have to expect the attention that comes with it. It's what's going to happen. You can't sit here and say, oh, they should, because that's like saying, oh, I should be able to walk around naked and nobody respond to it. If that did happen, you would lose your shit and go into depression, because then you would think, oh, everybody thinks I'm ugly, or I'm not this, that, or other. Nobody paid any attention. It's this split issue. What it is that people want to do what they want and feel like they should get the attention that they want to deserve, that they should get no negative attention for their actions. Damn. And it doesn't work like that, man. It doesn't work like that. Killing boys, what's the motherfucker deal? This local government. I don't know how child support works in this. I don't know if you're sending checks through to the court and they have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or how that works. I've never had to pay child support and never will. So, again, there's certain behaviors, and it's not just women, because it's kind of with all kind of people. But I'm just focusing on the women's aspect of it, because let's be honest. If you're getting all the attention you want from the right type of guys, you're not complaining about anybody saying anything that you're wearing. But let's just be real. You can't expect the man to be the pursuer, right? because the man is supposed to be the one that initiates conversation, that initiates interaction and all that other stuff, and then be upset when somebody says something about what you're wearing or you're getting approached by men, because how do they know if they don't shoot their shot, right? So I think that there's just a lot of things. You got to take the good with the bad in life. And what people are trying to do nowadays is make it where they don't have to take any of the bad. They can do whatever the fuck they want to, is what they want to do, but not have to deal with any of the repercussions that come with it. And I don't think that makes sense. The Pats won the Super Bowl? I didn't even watch. So I have no idea. I had no idea who won the Super Bowl. Really, that's news to me. I didn't know who won the Super Bowl. I paid no attention. My team wasn't in it, so I was not watching. You say it's not that simple to do what you're doing. It just shouldn't change their mind. Okay. And let's just be 100. I mean, let's be 100. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just asking questions. Can you honestly say that, after things change, that your behavior didn't change? I'm not saying it justifies or any of that stuff. That your behavior didn't change in any form or fashion. Or was it that you guys explicitly ever made an agreement that you guys wanted to have a child? And again, like I said, I'm being a little bit nosy and I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just curious. I did, and I started filling it out, and I got to finish that because I started filling it out yesterday, and I need to fill that out. I need to get that done. So yeah, I did get it though. So I'll fill it out. I'll have it sent to you tomorrow. And so, like I say, there's a lot of things that go into it. And again, every situation is different. So I'm not trying to label and throw everybody all in one barrel because every situation is different. I'm not disavowing that there are hoe ass niggas out there that be like, oh yeah, let's have a kid, or I love you this, and let's make a baby and do all this other shit. And then when it actually happens, they pull a Houdini and they disappear. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It does happen. And I'm not saying that, I'm not giving anybody full credit. Let's just be honest. There are women who change the game up. There are men who change the game up. And that's why I think that we got to get out of this situation where, and again, I'm talking shit, but at the same time, let's be reasonable. Like, you shouldn't be engaging in any behaviors that have long-term consequences without the proper structure in place. You know what I'm saying? And so what I mean by that is, I agree. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Because let's be honest, if a motherfucker's approaching you because of they're attracted to you, then you're already kind of, I'm not saying you're off on the wrong foot, because of course that's kind of how it works. But if that's been it, if they approached you, spit some game at you, you eat that shit up, y'all have a fuck friendship. It's never really taken time to get to know. Y'all never really had those discussions. Y'all never really have done anything else besides fucking. And then situation changes. I mean, you just had a good old fuck buddy. And I think there's a lot of motherfuckers in fuck friend relationships that end up like, fuck it. People aren't taking the time to get to know each other anymore. But then, if you're in a situation where, because trust me, it ain't just dudes that want to fuck raw. It's a lot of chicks that want to fuck raw too, and they like it raw. I'm a talk raw. Call me Eddie Honcho Murphy. We're gonna keep it raw, And so, the thing is, and people are like, okay, pull out game 1,000, this, that, and the third, and all the other stuff that comes with it. When you playing that game and that risk, and again, if you as a woman don't have a deal in place, if you ain't got your deal, niggas out there rapping trying to get deals. If you ain't got your deal, your marriage deal, then man, y'all better strap that shit up. You know what I'm saying? You better wrap that motherfucking shit up. Like, you got a motherfucking me. You say Bryce McGowan's. All right, I'll check you out. Let me drop that down there. You got to wrap that shit up. Like, we can't let pleasure overthrow the thought process. And if a motherfucker just steadily ain't ever really got the time, like, I think there's a lot of women who, and I see it because I see a lot of these side chicks and things out here that are just happy to have some company. And instead of recognizing what that situation is, there's a lot of women out there happy being the second woman, knowing that this man got a woman at home or whatever else is, or married or whatever. And they validate and justify things in their mind. Oh, he gonna leave her for me, and he gonna do all this other. There's so many of these weird situations that are going on that if you really just took the time to think, but what happens is thinking can be painful. Thinking can definitely hurt your ego, and a lot of people just don't want to be hurt. A lot of people would rather live in this bubble of bullshit, and then when everything falls apart, I mean, they let it build up, and everything falls apart. Now it's why me, or why this happened, how this happened. I don't know. Yo, you knew the fuck how it happened. You just didn't want to recognize that shit was going to happen. They decided to have a child together, got a pretty change a lot of ways. Okay, well, yeah, that's some fucked up ass shit, And I think too, what happens with that with guys too is, it sounds good. And it depends on the age, and a lot of young ones especially. It sounds good, it sounds cool. It's the thing to do because a lot of motherfuckers think kids are fucking baby dolls and shit. Oh, we just gonna dress them up and they gonna look like us, and that's gonna be cool, and not realizing all the other problems that go with it. And that's why you got a lot of these little kids now that's dumb as a fucking baby. They sound like these little talking dolls. That's all their parents do is dress them up in some clothes, and motherfuckers don't know shit. So my thing is, whoa, what's going on? Raw is just a weird word. What's the motherfucking deal, Vincent, man? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Keisha R, what's the motherfucking deal? But yeah, so my thing is you gotta really make the right decisions, man. You gotta wrap it up. Either you wrap it up or you don't fuck. You know what I mean? Or unless you get snipped or whatever else is like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever else you got going on, you got to make sure you take the preventative precautions if you're not trying to go down that road. You know what I mean? And so the thing about it is, protect yourself if you don't want to do that. But what I was saying about the situation with the dude is, like, a lot of dudes think everything is kosher, but then when reality starts hitting them, I think their mind can start changing. I'm not saying that's justified, but it is what it is. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop in the den this evening, man?
All right, man, but continue to talk about what you've been saying. I know I don't want to bring in this group chat a lot, but there's something that was on the lines of what you was talking about just now, and they were talking about, they had this girl that made a post, service announcement on Twitter, talking about, oh, why men be fucking them like they want to make out with them like they want to have kids or some shit. Like, men need to slow it down. Like, and she was going over step by step on a whiteboard. If you go by this many strokes, like, you're trying to be a friend, but if you're going by this many strokes, or if you're trying to go harder and stuff, that you just need to go ahead and wife them. So I didn't even know some women feel that way. So, and then people was talking about it, it was like, why do men always go so hard when they be going in? And this is what most women be saying. So, so I just want y'all's opinion on that. If y'all have an opinion about that at all.
All right. I'm slightly confused. So she's saying the type of fucking, basically the way you stroking when you fucking determines.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what I think about that, and I kind of got it figured out. Like now that you explained that. Honestly, okay. Basically what she's saying is some dumb shit. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking retarded. And she trying to I don't know if she's trying to call herself being funny, or if women really do believe that that's some dumb ass shit. Because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Either you fucking because you enjoy fucking. It ain't about you trying to fuck her and wife her. You trying to fuck to get a nut. Like, if you have had these discussions because, hey, I want to get with you, and then this and that, and then take that level, fine. Because here's the deal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna break down some game for y'all. If you fucking and just going hard, doing whatever you're doing, cool. It is what it is. Whatever type you choose. But when you doing slow grooving and you taking your time, being passionate and sensual, making out and doing all this other stuff, that's making love. Okay, and if you do some shit like that, that's more so gonna get them into some old, oh, this nigga want to be with me long term. Oh, this is some old Central with the R&B playing in the background, all type of shit. That's sending a different message. And so it ain't got shit to do with the number of strokes and all that other shit. It's just the way you approach the motherfucking situation. And so whatever it sounds like I say, I'd have to see it to really understand it, to get an idea, but it just sounds like some dumbass shit that she's talking about, honestly.
Yeah, it probably just sounds like because what I get from it is probably like that probably happened to her. She probably thought old dude was gonna make out with it, and old dude left her high and dry.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But again, like I say, it's different signals, and men have different intentions, women have different intentions, and so it's just about an understanding. And if she might have had a belief that she was hoping or some shit was going to happen, and he might have had his personal intentions of what was going to happen, and somewhere signals got crossed and she misinterpreted it, so she didn't get what she wanted out of the situation, man. So I think that's really don't make no sense. Exactly, like it just the way a motherfucker fucking you is not telling of how he's going to respond to you in a relationship. Look, he might be sensitive that even, so maybe he's trying to go slow. He ain't trying to get off too quick. You know what I'm saying? He might not have been ready. Or a motherfucker maybe feel like he done popped in one of them old magic blue things and he finna go hard in the paint. Who knows? But the thing about it is that has nothing to do with the intentions outside of sexual intercourse.
Well, I can agree with that, but but thanks for clearing that for me a little bit, because I was just like, I heard it, I was like, huh, and I was like, okay, maybe she was just kind of mad something didn't go away. But one more.
What you got?
One more thing. I don't really promote people like that, but I know you've been in Houston pretty much all your life, because you know who King Johnny Jewelers is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went there today, and I got good hospitality, and I ended up getting a piece from over there. It actually costs a little bit, but hey, it's legit. So if anybody want that that don't know about Houston like that, man, they the real deal in terms of hospitality and what they do over there. So
okay, well, that's
check them out pretty much.
That's what happened. So I'm finna send them Goonies over there around U of H. Tell them look for a nigga with a new piece. You know what I'm saying? If they looking for a come up, that's a bet. I got you.
See, I'm not stupid.
I'm just saying.
I'm not wearing that at school. Like, why would I wear that in Third Ward? Like, that's actually patrol.
Man, I'm just saying, man. You gotta slide out of there sometime. Just keep your head on the swivel, man.
Because I ain't gonna lie, because when I come out, like I swear, like, yeah, the gang of dudes was like looking at me side eyed and shit. So I was like, bruh.
They gonna get you, babe. They gonna get you. You better watch out. You got to be careful. But that's a bit, man, Josh. That's congratulations on that. But I appreciate the call, man.
All right, man. Sure.
All right. So again, if y'all looking for a come up, slide to Third Ward. Look for a nigga named Josh. You ain't not fucking with y'all. If y'all trying to hit a lick, I'm just fucking with y'all. Let me stop. But anyway, so you talking about let me see what y'all talking about. Yeah, but the stroke has nothing to do with the intention. Again, a motherfucker just may feel like going hard that night. A motherfucker may feel like just, being a little bit more sensual that night. That has nothing to do with a motherfucker wifing somebody or not, the way that the motherfucker fucking somebody. So, again, motherfucker may have the juice, a motherfucker may not have the groove that evening. What's the motherfucker deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening? Hello.
Oh, it's Edmund.
Edmund. What's the motherfucking deal, Edmund? What would you like to drop in the den this evening?
So I wanted to ask, have you ever been to Live Houston?
Live Houston? No.
Yeah, it's called Live Houston Club.
No, I don't do the club thing.
By Emmanuel Street, close to downtown.
No, sir. I can't say that I have.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, because I just found out about something today, but don't want to really expand on it. So
what the fuck? Well, why bring up the guy?
Because I wanted to ask you something, but since you don't know what it is, then it's no point in asking you.
God damn it, Ed, man. Well, what about the people in the chat? The people in the chat may know. They may go to the live. Maybe they can assist you in your situation. But I mean, I worry about you, Edmund. I really do. I don't know what to think about you sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, that guy, man, he's you got to watch out for him. Sometimes I'm like, you just got to watch out for that nigga. Don't keep your drink around, Edmund. But I don't know. I have no idea, man.
Do you remember that chick that was throwing that party, that Valentine's Day party, whatever and then I sent you that picture of the chick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I was asking, because she's, I guess, a promoter for that club.
Okay.
And so so I guess, she dresses a certain way, just a bra, some leggings and all that stuff. So I was just wondering,
like a whore?
No, but I mean, she might be. I don't know.
No, I'm fucking with you. No, okay, so but what does that have to do with the club and everything that's going on with that?
Well, to see if I should go, to see if I should.
Man, look, Ed, man, look. First off, you over there being cucked by the little Asian chick who somewhere in Far East Asia, she found out.
Oh yeah, just so. I was looking through my Facebook, and I haven't checked in over 2 weeks. So when I logged in, the first thing I found out was that she sent me a friend request. I don't know how long ago, but yeah, that's kind of weird how she found out my Facebook. So
okay.
That gives me hope.
Yeah. Up with hope, down with dope. Ed, man, I don't know what you are, man, but go to the thing if you want to go to the thing. I have no advice for you on that shit, so do what you do, man.
But should I bring some straps, or should I just go raw?
Hey, go raw. That's the law. That's all.
Okay.
All right, man. So I don't know where you're going with that, because this is around the area of the call. You start getting real sketchy, so I'm gonna hang up on you. I appreciate you calling in. I gotta look out for my mods, man, because I gotta, because every man he'll hit you with that sneaky uppercut. He hit you with that quick little jab. You gotta be ready. But shout out to Ed, man, and all his weirdness. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Mr. Roman.
Roman, what's the motherfucking deal, Roman? What you want to drop in the den tonight, man?
Man, bro, I hate to say it, man, but I got to talk about this Leaving Neverland crap, bro.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
I watched it. Now, I was playing the last time. I really watched it this time, man. I didn't watch it. It's 2 episodes. I watched episode 1, man. And it's crazy, Honcho. It's like a piece of me believes them, but a piece of me still like, man, fuck these niggas, man. Because, they got so detailed and so graphic about what Mike did to them, and that's the piece of me feeling like, who would make that up? Because that's sick. The stuff he was talking about, all sorts of shit, Honcho. Man, I ain't got time to even go with the whole story, but I'm just telling you, I would advise you to watch it. I know everybody loves Mike, and I still love Mike, man, because I still do have a big part of me feel like it's a little bullshit, but I'm just saying, it's very graphic, man, and from what they said, it's like Michael would groom the parents, then groom them. It was like he had a pattern, and how he would be cool with one kid at first, and then move on to another one, and to another one, and another one, But then there's another big part of me that feels like, you can't believe every documentary. Just because the documentary comes out don't make it fact. Number one, this man is dead. Number two, the FBI did do a 10-year investigation on this man, found nothing. 2 raids, found nothing. So, plus both y'all was on the stand in his trial and said nothing happened. So you expecting me to believe you now? You know, I do know sometimes people hold it in and this and that, and I know from what I heard with sexual, people can sometimes defend their accuser, but I'm just saying, if you hated that man, from what they say after he went on these other kids, he betrayed you, what they said. Why wouldn't you get that man when he was at his lowest, when you could have put him in jail for life, but you didn't do it? So that makes you feel like, well, why wouldn't you do it, you know? The thing is, they told y'all do a lie detector test. You don't want to do a lie detector test. You know, some evidence don't match. And the parents was a piece of shit, because if Michael was doing all this, I'm going to never let my child sleep in another bed with a grown-ass man. And I'm not a grown man yet, Honcho, but that sounds stupid. I know you wouldn't let your daughter or your son do that, Honcho, you know? And that's disgusting, bro. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Michael Jackson. I don't care if it's nobody. You know, you ain't sleeping with my child, period. You know? And the parents were dumb, and they were stupid, and it's a big blame. If you want to blame if Michael did do this shit, you gotta blame Michael because he's wrong and he's wrong for what he did. But blame those damn parents, man. So what I'm really trying to say, well, I know some people say, well, damn, I'm gonna get on with the topic, but what my topic is about, I feel like, with these documentaries, man. And I want to ask you, Honcho, man, how you feel about these documentaries? Do you feel like, should you automatically believe them, or you feel like you should really look into them before you start believing?
You should definitely look into all of the documentaries. What agenda do they have to push? Why are they making this documentary? What purpose does it serve? You know, how much funding was put into this? You know, I think there's a lot of things. And what happens is when you automatically put the word documentary on a title, people automatically assume that it's fact, you know, that there's no bias in it, that they're just going to get a clear-cut perspective, you know, from both sides. But obviously nowadays we see that there are a lot of people with a lot of agendas, and they're trying to push out certain narratives. Yeah, and right now there's a lot of money in the documentary, even if it's not in the documentary itself, you know, on the back end. Once you get people moving a certain way or thinking a certain way, you know, certain individuals will profit. So, I mean, you definitely got to look into all of these things.
You also got to think about this documentary has made so much money, and that makes you think, is it about the money? You know, you used to go sign this big deal with HBO, knowing it was going to get telecast and seen by everybody. You know, how Wade Robson, one of the boys, said that they came by him with a deal saying, hey, if you make this stuff about Michael, man, we'll give you a deal. You can tell on him, blah, blah, blah. And 10 years before that, he said, no, I won't do it because nothing happened. But it's so funny, 10 years later, you're doing it. You have a lawsuit against Michael and his estate right now. But I thought it was not about the money, though. I thought it was about being free. But you're suing him for money. That's what I'm talking about, why I don't believe it. And I do believe they do attack black artists, Honcho. I know I'm going to hear it, but they do, man. Because we're not talking about Elvis. We're not talking about Woody Allen, how he had a 9-year-old Asian daughter, and he ended up marrying her. And that was his adopted daughter, and he ended up marrying her. You know, he raised her and then married his adopted daughter. That's sick. I don't care even if she's not your blood, man. You raised her. So that doesn't get talked about. But Michael and R. Kelly is the worst people of all time. You know,
I'm gonna tell you why that's happening too. But I hate to cut you off. You know, we didn't hit the a little over the 5-minute mark. But if you want to call back in a little bit, I'm gonna speak on what you said, and I'm addressing those things. I haven't watched The Finding Neverland, but I'll tell you why that happens too.
Oh yeah. All right, Honcho, man. I was just about to end it because I know it's probably going over. So I'll call back in, man.
Okay, appreciate the call, Roman.
No, anytime.
Already. So here's my deal, and again, like I said, I haven't watched the documentary. I hardly watch shit, but I ain't gonna lie. I saw the clip for that Joker movie. I probably might end up watching that shit. That shit looks interesting. But he was saying, you know, all the things they said negatively about Michael And again, I'm sure it's very biased that there's a lot of money. And you got to follow the money, man. Ultimately, everything is about following the money. We got a call here. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in on the Den this evening?
What's going on, Honcho? This is Dr. Rabbit.
Dr. Rabbit, what's the motherfucking deal? Dr. Rabbit, what would you like to drop in the Den this evening?
All right. So it's about my freshman class.
Okay.
So you know how I say I hate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I made a rant about it one time on Instagram, which I don't have an Instagram account anymore. Got rid of it.
Okay.
There's a part of me inside that feels kind of bad for them because no one really, because around my environment, no one really acts that dumb. But because here, I have to put myself in other people's perspectives in order to really get a full view. Like I can't just look at it one sided. I have to look at it at everyone's, point of view. And that's kind of hard to do. But from what I'm going off of, there's got to be like it's not like they don't do this shit for fun. I mean they could have like ADHD, OCD, ADD, something inside them.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm a little confused, Dr. Rabbit. Like, give me an explanation, kind of about what you're talking about. That some of the behaviors that these people do.
Don't refer to them as people.
How are you going to feel bad for them if you don't see the humanity in these people?
Because no one goes about talking about what they searched up on porn.
I talk about it all the time. It doesn't make them not people. People like porn. I mean, that's just a thing.
I know, but it's not something that you would discuss in public.
I talk about it all the time. When I go get my order from McDonald's, I inform whoever's at the drive-thru about the latest, greatest thing that I've discovered on Pornhub, and I suggest that they watch it. And then I follow up with them when I pay. Hey, remember that? German's Gone Wild. It's great shit. No, but seriously, though. I mean, but what is it like? I mean, so you're saying that because they talk about pornography in public that you feel bad about them?
Well, it's not. Well, not only that, but it's kind of like I explain that terribly. It's mainly because they're very disruptive, and that's kind of what triggers me to think that like there's got to be like something wrong with them. Like how a lot of kids have ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have that, but on steroids.
But I'm still, like I said, I'm still kind of confused here, and this is why I'm trying to get some clarity, some real understanding. Like, could you give me maybe a sequence of events, or maybe a couple of things they do that is, you said, disruptive, or what shows the lack of attention span, or whatever it is that's going on that makes it difficult.
All right. Okay, so we're taking a test in the class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one kid, he keeps talking to his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher keeps telling him to stop talking to his friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he either ignored her or he just didn't hear her. And he kept talking to his friend, and the teacher told him, "Give me your test."
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, like, she freaking gave him a 0.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of like told me, like, I don't think he would. I don't know if he would do that on purpose. I mean, he probably did, like, just to piss her off. But at the same time, you haven't known him.
I don't know. Like I say, because that's, again, I'm significantly older than you are. Those are things that happened back when I was much younger, and it's just certain people who have those type of, they just don't shut the fuck up, or they don't pay attention. They don't follow rules well. So I wouldn't say it's, and it could be a case of ADHD. It could be, something like that. But what I'm trying to, I guess I'm trying to see in the grand scheme of things, like, do you feel like everybody is suffering from this but you, or is it just certain individuals that you're picking out here and there that are, that you're noticing?
Oh no, I suffer from.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know what happened there. The phone cut off. So there's that. We'll come back to that, but I want to get to what Roman was saying before, we get too far away from that. And what he was saying about why it's only the black celebrities getting picked on. Who are the people outing the black celebrities? Now, Michael's situation, I don't know. I don't know if Michael's fucking with little black kids or not. But if you're looking at a lot of these other ones, Michael had money. So the money is what's going to go and going to stir that up. So, but if you look at R. Kelly, who was R. Kelly's main victim? Who are the people that are coming out saying this about R. Kelly? Who's the ones funding and encouraging the interviews against R. Kelly? They're all black. Everybody involved, for the most part, except for the lawyers, except for his lawyer, is black. From Gail to Oprah to the families, to the girls, to every entity. And so these are all the enablers. Everybody in that situation is black. So you go and you look at some of these other things, these other situations. Said Woody Allen and damn, I didn't catch who the other one was you said. It was somebody else you said. But if you look at it, Elvis, who's telling on him? Who's coming out and saying, hey, they did this and hey, they did that? Even if these people got paid off, they were okay with their payoffs. Even if these people did, explicit, illicit, just negative behavior, whatever they engaged in, they were okay with what they received and they didn't make a big deal about it. But what you have is people who are now more than willing to talk about some things. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm not saying that they should. But a lot of these people were on the receiving end of benefits for their actions. That shit ran out, and now they want more because they use this as, this is a terrible thing, the worst thing that ever happened in my life, and my life is ruined, which is not true. But people, if you focus on one thing and you make one thing the highlight of your life, yeah, but it's shit that happens to a lot of people, and they go on, they move forward. So ultimately, when we talk about black artists versus white artists, or black situations versus white situations, it's who's coming out against these people. Who are the ones that are willing? Because you have to have witnesses. No face, no case. You have no evidence or anything, or anybody who's willing to say that this person did this to me or this person did that to me. Then you got nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got nothing, and that's ultimately what it is. In this day and age of attention and money and all these things, certain people are willing to put themselves out there showing that they got exploited, hoping that they can get exploited again for more money. Some people may have done some shit that they are ashamed about, and they don't even want to talk about it. They want to move on. Some people are looking for a payday. I mean, it's a lot of shit you gotta look into. Again, the same way we talk about with the documentaries about following the money. You got to look at what are the intentions of the people behind this. What do they have to benefit, and why aren't certain people coming out? Yeah, we know there's been artists throughout history who have been doing. I mean, this is a part of entertainment, and it's not justifiable. But this is a part of Hollywood. It's a part of the music industry. It's a lot of weird shit that's been going on. But it's the people who are the victims, quote unquote. What are they doing? Are they sending files? Do they have tapes? Are they, keeping evidence? Are they doing this stuff? Are they pushing their kids forward to these artists to try to, hit them with the okie doke and catch them in retro later on or whatever? So, and this is what I'm saying. So I don't think it's just a black-white thing. I think you got to look at who's coming forward. Yeah, we may know this information, but one, if the people who it happened to aren't willing to come forward with it, what can we say? And then two, it still doesn't negate the negative behaviors that were done by any party. So just because there may have been white artists doing it and other people doing it doesn't make what R. Kelly did, if he allegedly did, or Michael Jackson allegedly did, or any other artist allegedly, it doesn't make it any better. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we got to like let's not get blindsided by the fact, well, they're doing it over there too. That's like a motherfucker getting caught up in stitches. Well, they over there, they selling dope too. Well, what about me, man? You can't worry about that shit. Like, you got to worry about your house. You know what I'm saying? And whatever happens with that situation will get dealt with. And if not, then it's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. You know, and that's my thing though. And that's my thing is like, if it is real, if it's not real, I don't know. Okay. And I'm not necessarily trying to do it like Michael. I'm gonna be honest. Here's my thing, because, you know, I get accused as a victim blamer and all that other stuff, man. And that's not my intention. I just try to look at shit realistically. Oh, they sent that hoe to the Raiders. I figured that was happening. You know, it's just like, but that was obvious because he did that little goofy ass live shit. That motherfucker can't say, I'm gonna tell you about my new team in just a little bit, all right? Like, shut your ass up, nigga. He already got on the black and gray. So my thing though is this. Fuck AP, we ain't got me talking about this old blonde mustache having ass nigga. But my thing is this, so you can't worry about the racial aspect of it. And then even if you're looking at it like that, if we want to apply the racial aspect of it, who was doing more damage to, you know, black people? If R. Kelly was preying on as much people as they say he was, and it was all black girls and it was all this, then wouldn't he be more of a concern than some of these other artists if they were doing damage to their own kind? If they were like, see, it's a lot of stories and a lot of shit that gets thrown out there because we as black people, we are emotional. We react overly emotionally to things. Because I was thinking about this today. I was talking to my old lady about this today, and I was just like, I see why shit gets thrown out there and the way it gets thrown out there. That's why the media throws shit out the way that it does, because we as black people, we're going to overreact emotionally. I'm not saying me specifically, but as a group, it's just, racism over there. Stop that shit. You're like, come on, man. Like, chill out. Think. Like, let's figure it out. What's going on, man? What's really happening? Okay. All right. This is this. And let's look at the factors behind it. And ultimately, even if it is fucking happening, okay, what can we really do about it? All right, let's look at this in a vacuum. Let's understand what's really going on in this situation. Okay, this is fucked up. That's fucked up. Okay, this might not have been what we thought it was. Well, who's getting hurt here, really? You know, who's the people behind this? Who's pushing what? Who's pushing this narrative? Why would they believe this? Why is this a believable story? Why is this not a believable story? What factor? Who stands to gain from this? Like, it's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and we can't just racism. Trigger word automatically makes you respond. When Smollett came out and said MAGA hats, niggas automatically think MAGA hat equals racist. They think of a MAGA hat like a KKK hood. Man, come on, like, we got to stop all that bullshit, man. Got to stop all that bullshit. You know, and the thing is now we respond to everything. Everything is a response. Like, shit, you know, we just got to get away. Like, you know, I know they got that, what's that campaign, that walk away shit, whatever. Look, we gotta fix some shit in our own hood, man. We gotta, like, and I'm not saying, man, trust me, I love my people. I love, even when I talk a bunch of shit about niggas, I love niggas. I want motherfuckers to do better. I say everything that I say from the goodness of my heart. It's not about, you know, oh, I'm better than, or I think I'm better than. We got to do. I say everything I say from the goodness of my heart, because I was that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of being in gifted education, I was still doing nigga shit. I had all kind of off the wall behaviors, a lot of stupid shit that I got into. But when I really sat down and started thinking about it, when I sat down and started getting back into books and reading and things like that, shit just started making more sense. And you can't evade sense. Like, the emotional response was still there initially, like, this doesn't feel good to hear, and I don't like it. Ugh. But the logic took over and said, well, this is fact. You can attest to this fact yourself. You can attest to this yourself. You can attest to this yourself. It is what it is. You just don't be that stereotype anymore. You don't be that statistic anymore. And there's still certain stereotypes. You know, I often say I'm the atypical, stereotypical black man, because some things I do have that are odd, some things I do that do fall in line with, you know, stereotypical black behavior, and it's okay. I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that. So be an individual, and that goes back to, I believe, damn it, Shonda, I believe. Don't let me know. Don't look. I don't want to give credit to you if you ain't say it, but I think Shonda said earlier when she was talking about groupthink. But everybody, if you stand out from the group, if somebody else said it, make sure, you know, let me know. I want to make sure I give credit to where the statement was. I said I want to talk about groupthink earlier, and when we sit there and just we have to agree with the group because the group looks like us. The group, we relate to them, and if we don't, they're gonna ostracize us. Well, guess what? Hey, man, fuck it. I guess I'll be ostracized. I guess I'll be you know, outcast. I guess I'll be out on the, you know, I'll be the motherfucker they excommunicate, or the exiled one, you know. I'd rather be fucking that and know facts and understand what's really going on than just be a bunch of sheep getting told, hey, there's gold over the edge of that cliff or whatever the fuck it is, and motherfuckers running that bitch full speed, falling off to their fucking death, and thinking that they finna get something good, man. Hey, you gotta stop the shenanigans, man. You know, we gotta stop the shenanigans, and you gotta really wake up. All that woke shit is not woke. All that woke Twitter shit, that's further and further asleep. You know what I'm saying? They really trying to close your eyes to what you really are capable of. You know, they want to tell you that, oh, you know, it's this. Oh, they making you sleep because they're making you more stagnant. If a motherfucker sitting there telling you, oh, you can't do this because the white man's holding you down. You can't do this because the system is holding you down. The reason you can't do this, it's like the fat girl who didn't even go to the club, but she started complaining about it. She didn't even go to the fucking club, and she said she couldn't get in because somebody else told her she couldn't get in. Did she actually try to go and get in? No. Now she want to sue a motherfucker. That's the same fucking shit. If you don't even try because somebody told you, oh, the system is holding you down, man. Your skin color holding you down. The white man holding you down. But do you try? No. Most people who start hearing that shit, they got weak, they got weak wills, you know, and that shit starts getting crushed, and they like, well, fuck it, I ain't even finna try. I'm just gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna continue doing the same shit I've been doing. I'm just gonna stay in my lane over here. I'm not even gonna see what's going on this end. I'm not even gonna look. This is what it is until they get fucking hit in the head with a rock or something and wakes them up. But that's why I say, man, like, you know, sometimes I tell niggas, man, get out the fucking African American section of the bookstore or the library. If you do go to the library or the books, man, go see what's going on the other side. If you say you hate white people, that's fine. But go read what they write and go read what they talking about. Understand if you perceive that as your enemy, then go see if that's your enemy. What is your enemy talking about? Then you're gonna wake up to a lot of shit, and you're gonna be like, well, goddamn. Because the funny thing about it is, you know, we sit here and we focus on ourselves. We focus on ourselves. Ourselves is always, you know, black. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's nothing right with that, because you got to take and look at other cultures and see what they did to advance, to get ahead. Everybody has done that since the beginning of the world. Hey, I'm going to take some shit over here from this culture because this shit worked for them and help them advance, and we can apply this over here, and we're going to apply a little bit over here. You know, we talk about culture vultures and all that other bullshit. We worried about clothes and music and dance moves and shit. Okay, well, if you feel like they stealing that from you, well, go steal some of that knowledge that they giving away for free. Go steal some of that shit that's in every book. Go steal some of that shit, you know. But nah, that's not what we want to do. It's on some other shit, man. And so it's like it kills me, man. It really kills me. You know, it kills me that we think like this. And again, ain't nobody out to get you, man. Ain't nobody out to get you. That's ego. We not that big. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, you know, maybe some motherfuckers who at the top of the tower, they got some real shit going on. But as far as us as individuals right now, just being regular men and women, ain't nobody out to get us, man. And you got all the opportunity in the world to be whatever the fuck you want to be, man. You know, it's crazy. So I hate rhetoric, the system. God, at least look at the history, face value that held back. What policy, black voting, black citizenship. What you talking about? Nobody says what y'all in here talking about? What the fuck? What are you talking about? And that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Okay, if you don't like Trump, and again, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump hater. All right. But what has Trump done that is just so bad? Because I see people who just post Trump all fucking day on their timelines, on their shit. Like, is there anything else going on in your life? Or do you wake up thinking about this motherfucker? Like, you know, like what's going on? Like, I'm not on either side of it, but like the people who hate him promote him more than the people who like him, honestly. You know, and that's just the thing that we gotta fucking get away from, man. It's like that man who got that rent, what they call it, free rent inside your head, man. Free real estate. You know, I don't care about his fucking toupee. I don't care about none of that shit. Like, if you hate a man for a toupee, well, you gonna hate a whole lot of people, man. Nah. I ain't see that. A bus driver took a Trump kid's hat away. That's terrible. I still haven't seen one in real life. Like I say, I'm in MAGA country, goddamn it. But you know, and this is what I'm saying. And again, but when I say these things, you know, black people get mad at me because I'm not buying to the whole black narrative. But the thing is, what you don't realize, I've read more, studied more, because I told you I was on my pro-black kick. than most motherfuckers. A lot of motherfuckers just repeating what somebody else says. So the sound is really low. Okay, let's turn them shits up then. Let's get it right. Yeah, let me know how we sounding over here if that sounds better. You know, Trump out here Texas folks, we gotta give a fuck. That's funny. Look, he ain't hit me though. That's the funny thing about it, because everybody was talking about he was texting and doing all that shit. I never got one of them motherfuckers. So, you know, I blocked that nigga. But, you know, my thing though is this. I can't trust Heidi. Heidi, she's a hater. You know, let me see what you got going on. But the thing about it is this. You know, and I get a lot of people who sit there and say, "Oh, you cooning, or you doing this, or you doing that." No, it's not. I'm not finna let this one thought fucking, you know, overwhelm me that I can't make progress in other areas. You know what I'm saying? That I ain't fooling with you. So my thing is this, man, like shit. I ain't tripping on none of that shit, man, because that's not going to impede the progress. The only thing that impedes my progress is myself and hanging out with y'all all night in the goddamn den. That's why we're gonna start limited to 2 hours. So y'all can't be mad at me. I still love y'all. But the thing about it is, man, I just want people to think independently. Don't, you know, why listen to a group of people, especially if you're coming from an impoverished area and motherfuckers who are basically losing, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it ain't fucked up, but you got motherfuckers who look just like you with neighborhoods, not just one, you know, because we always assume that, oh, well, the one black guy that made it out, he lives in an all white. There are very nice all black neighborhoods all over the United States. All over the place. Okay. So if that's what you're looking for, you know, go find that. But we automatically assume the thing that we, even as black people, we assume black equals poverty and impoverished. And it's not the case. There's a lot of motherfucking opportunities all over the place, and not just in Atlanta. I mean, all over the motherfucking place. But my thing is, all right, Dr. Ray, appreciate it. My thing is this: you got to change the mentality. But if you, again, like I say, coming from a low income area, you coming from an area that's generally primarily black, and you listen to what they telling you, oh, you can't make it out, you can't do that unless they don't want us to make it out unless we entertaining, unless we rapping, unless we, you know, singing and dancing, and, you know, but then you ask them, what is their primary focus? What do they focus on in life or whatever else it is? And it's the latest rapper, the latest dance, you know, who's the latest singer and all they Kool-Aid and all they business, you know, what's the tea, who got the hot tea on such and such. Then you start asking about other topics, you get into other areas of life. Oh man, I don't even know, man. You talking about some more complicated shit. Oh, you using big words and some like. Why is that cool? Why is it cool to be dumb? I remember I used to get a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? I used to get a lot of that, man. And you using the big word. You talking like a white dude, man. And again, there was a point where I started dumbing myself down to associate with people, which was the stupidest thing I ever did in my life. But, you know, I figured it out and had to start kind of, you know, now still working on, you know, get back where I got to be. You know, it's a forever process. It never ends. But dumbing myself down to associate with dummies and shit, man. Oh man, you using them big words. Why is that shit cool? But then we talking about it's the white man holding us down, but we want to dumb each other down. That's the stupid shit I'm talking about. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello. Hello, Miss Rashida.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
All right. How are you this evening?
I'm okay. I'm a little hoarse today, so I hope y'all can hear me.
Okay. Who you been yelling at? You been yelling at somebody been getting on your nerves?
These kids, my nephews.
Okay. So what's on your mind this evening, Miss Rashida?
Anyway, I did just want to say fuck Trump. I don't like them. That's the end. The end.
So why is it that you don't like Trump? What about Trump is it that you don't like?
He is for the rich people. If you ain't rich, Trump don't give a shit about you. He got in office to give tax breaks to the rich people. He don't give a shit about people that's low income. To me, it ain't even no race issue. Cause he like rich black people. He like rich people in general. But you know what? A lot of what you said is true because I feel like a lot of these programs that we want to hold on to is what's setting us back. Because, like, when you own those certain programs, you have to limit your income. And that little money they giving you is just barely get you by. And how you ever gonna progress if that's all you ever gonna get? All you trying to do is just get by.
Exactly. And so why do you think people feel like that's all they worth, or that's good enough to them?
Because that's how they grew up. You around people that don't have much and you ain't got much, and you just don't see better. You don't know what would really make, let me see how I should say this. You don't know about living better unless you living better. I'll say it like that.
Okay. And so, I mean, what would you suggest for people who may have been in that situation, you know, for the majority of their lives, or grew up that way, even some of the youngsters that be in here? What would you suggest they would do or should do to maybe get out of that mindset?
Look, I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you. We grew up very poor. I'm not ashamed of that. But it was instilled in us to go to school and do what you got to do. None of my brothers went to jail. None of my brothers was out there selling drugs. They all got decent jobs, moved out on their own, got their own families, you know. So you can make it. It's just about how you go about things. And all my brothers are black. Excuse me. Never been to jail. So you can definitely do it. But you have to have that structure in your home also that promotes that.
So do you think...
And even if you ain't got to...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say this right quick. Even if you don't have that structure in your home, you can still do it. You just have to want to do it. And you got to surround yourself with people that's on that same mentality.
Okay, and that's what I agree. I think it's the people you surround yourself with, and I think a lot of us, you know, especially when you come from that impoverished situation, and you kind of look around, you know, the first thing you see, sometimes the first thing you see can be the worst thing you see. And what I mean by that is when you look around, especially if you're coming from the hood or whatever, the only motherfuckers you see really with money or that you think have money or the dope boys and niggas posted on the corner because they the ones flashing, hey, I got it, you know, or they the ones that got, you know, the nice cars, or they rocking the jewels and things that you think we're convinced that this shit is value when all that shit is trash. None of that shit is worth a fuck. But if you don't know better, if you don't have an understanding of value, or shit, if you ain't just never had nothing, you know, that shit gets attention. That shit gets that. And so people think that that's worthwhile. So, I mean, do you think that, I mean, and this is why I say personally, I feel that, you know, I don't knock anybody hustle. You know, hey, you do what you got to do to get by. But, you know, I think that drugs and drug dealing does more detriment, not just from the drugs itself, but the fact that we continue to push this agenda. Well, if you ain't selling dope, you know, you can't get up out of here. And if you're selling dope, you stay in there. You can't go nowhere. You got to stay in the hood to continue to sell dope. I mean, it is what it is. But do you see?
But anything you should do should lead to something better.
Yeah.
If you gonna sell your dope, when you make a certain amount of money, get you some property or get you a business, get you something that's gonna survive beyond that.
Exactly.
Because I ain't never seen a retired drug dealer.
Exactly.
I mean, they always have to branch out into something else. They might have started out selling drugs, but they end up with a building, or they end up with property, or you know, something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's my thing too. You know, you can't sell dope forever. I'm not gonna knock anybody. Like I said, I've had my issues and my ways, but you got to realize that that's not the end game. You got to have an exit strategy.
You going to jail. Because if you ain't making no money, you going to jail. Exactly. And then that's another problem. Too many going to jail, and then you leaving your family. The woman out there broke with all these kids. She can't do nothing too much for herself. You know. It's just creating another cycle of poverty.
Yeah. But why do you think that we promote that shit so much? Why do you think? I mean, do you think it's just that, or is it is it just the glorification of the drug dealers? Is it the lifestyle? Why don't we promote? Because here's the deal: we've all seen successful black people go to other places and do other things that start on the same low income neighborhoods, but they took a different route. Is it about fast money to you, or do you think is that right now money, that long term planning? What do you think it is that makes us value the more risky way, or think that's the only way, as opposed to long term planning and you know, stable growth?
I think a lot of it has to do with poverty, because we see that as a quick way to money, but we don't know what to do with the money when we get it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and then we also don't feel the need to teach our kids about money because we don't have it. You shouldn't just start to know about credit when you like 18, 19. Your parents supposed to teach you that early. You know, it's a lot of things that we don't teach our kids early. The other races teach their kids, and then we wonder why they behind.
I agree. There's still, you know, I'm enjoying the conversation, but we're a little over the limit. If don't nobody call back in, I want you to, you know, we may have to continue this, but I don't want nobody to say,
man, I've had the best call so far, so ain't nobody else was talking about shit, and Dr. Seuss was talking about them. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. But anyway. Yeah, Dr. Seuss. I be confused every time he called me, and I don't know what station I be on. I don't know what the hell be going on. But okay, then I have to call back. Right. Keep listening.
Nah, I appreciate it, Rashida. Goddamn, Dr. Seuss. I done heard it all. I appreciate your call. Shit. Oh, good grief. That tickled my soul a little bit. That tickled my soul a little bit. Shout out to Rashida. I always appreciate the call. But yeah, man, and so the money don't mean anything if you don't value yourself. Absolutely. Pathology, read more. And here's my thing, man. And again, like just before that call, when you say reading more, people look down on you for reading books. People look down, and that's why I say that's why I say poverty in America, and people gonna get upset. Poverty in America is not real poverty. You have access to riches. If it was real poverty, motherfuckers wouldn't come up being drug dealers, because you have access to money. You selling a product, and you can come up. Other country motherfuckers, drug dealers, still fucking broken shit. You, and I'm not telling people to go sell drugs, but motherfucking millionaires are made frequently, and most of these motherfuckers come from low income or maybe middle class because they have a plan, but motherfuckers see a problem and they fix that problem. They make money off fixing that problem and they grow. But instead, you know, we'd rather point the finger and say, oh, we can't do this or we can't do that. And I know I told y'all, you know, 2 hours or 12, but I got started about on the 11-minute mark because I kept cutting it out. So I'm going to give y'all, we'll make it 2 hours even at about 6 more minutes. But my thing is, we got to get out of that mindset. We got to disassociate being black with being poor, or even whatever you are. I'm not gonna know everybody ain't black, but I talk about blackness because that's what the fuck I relate to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest. But you know, and my thing is, and I speak from experience and being in different avenues and different positions in my life. So this is not me just always having everything, you know, accessible to me and just talking shit. It's me being in that situation, you know, having the background issues, having everything else that goes on with it, and then trying to figure that shit out and still trying to fucking figure the shit out. Like it's always a deal. You know, you get rejected from so many opportunities that you okay, it's like I can continue with this whole rejection tour, or I can figure some shit out and try to do something different. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many fucking legitimate legal hustles that you can have to make a legitimate income that you'll be all right. But I think what we have in the hood or in most hoods is like, I want to make money so I can stun on these other motherfuckers. They broke. I want to make money and talk shit about these other broke motherfuckers. Like I done came up. Other motherfuckers ain't worried about impressing those people. They're worried about their quality of life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. You know, and you make dollars on the internet, they're happy as fuck, internet connection in the mud. Yeah. India is fucking blowing up on the internet. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy shit about it, man. Like it's crazy. These, you know, look, The motherfuckers was in Nigeria hitting them with the scam. People was buying into that shit. It wasn't legitimate, but, you know, motherfuckers find a way. And there's always another avenue besides the bullshit. And that's what I wish. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm always trying to figure out what is the goal of the den. You know, where is it going? You know, what am I trying to figure out with this thing? And I'm not in that position yet. But ultimately, I want to help the youth pave a different way. Like, get out of that bullshit. And I'm not even telling you got to go to college. You can't be listening to these motherfuckers who ain't never been out of where you from, who ain't never fucking been out of the hood. And the motherfucker ain't never left the hood. Motherfucker ain't never done shit but sell dope. But he's the one you listening to talking about, oh, the white man got his thumb on your neck. You know what I'm saying? He's the white man is the motherfucker that holding you down. You know what I'm saying? You know, but again, like I tell y'all, ain't no white dude ever told me to sell no dope. I would say ain't no Mexicans, you know, Mexicans, y'all got all the dope, goddamn it. Y'all was trying to convince me, now I'm fucking around. But my thing is, I can't fuck with that Fireball. Y'all talk, ooh, fuck that. Fucking cinnamon sins, that's what that shit is. That's terrible. Fireball is terrible. About to get heavy into real estate. Exactly, man. Like, there's so many other avenues, man. And that's all I'm saying. Like, motherfuckers be thinking like I'm just anti-black. No, it's not the case. But the shit that we promote on a whole, the shit that we value more than everything else, and I think it's changing slowly. You know what I'm saying? I think it's changing slowly. But I want to say, you know, I'm not saying I like, again, because I don't be with the movements, but like say you got your Brexit thing. I think Trump woke up a lot of people, you know, even people like him or not, you know what I'm saying? And see, there go T'Challa, the boyfriend stealer. Y'all better watch out. Oh, tomorrow is Sunday night confession, so yeah, y'all better make sure y'all in here. You know, it goes down on the Sunday night confessions. Okay, we got about. I'm sorry, because I forgot. Yeah, because the thing started late. So yeah, we got about 5 more minutes. We're gonna go in. So look, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna kill the line. Because like I said, we're gonna go about 5 more minutes and get ready to wind some things down. Because I told y'all from now on, and daylight saving time is the perfect time to do it. We're gonna go 2 hours every night in the den. So 10 p.m. Central Time to midnight Central Time. Yeah, I got a few minutes because I actually because the OBS was tripping, so I didn't start the stream till a few minutes late, and then after that it was still like I ran up and had to get some things, get the paper and all that stuff. So I was like about 12:15 my time. So we got about 5 more minutes. We will. But so my thing is this though. Ultimately, man, I want everybody to win. But my deal is I want to change the mindset of the black culture. Now, to some people, Honcho, you can't be talking like that. The man gonna come get you and assassinate you like he did MLK and Martin Luther King. But you gotta fucking change the game. You said I was a Democrat my whole life till 1 year after Trump got voted in. So what changed your mind, Anubis? I'd like to know. Tell me what you think about that. And here's my deal, man. Because we sell ourselves on this shit too, because again, only being familiar with ourselves, I was talking about that earlier, only being familiar with ourselves and our own personal culture and not looking around, people get, what we got to look at them for, because other motherfuckers have been through the same problems and gotten out of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you got to recognize, and you got to figure out what can you take from other cultures and apply your own culture, apply to yourself, because we can't save everybody, but apply to yourself and win. Again, we talk about, the Asians and how successful they've been. They're a small number. They're a small fraction. But they found ways to be successful. You can look at these people who come from other seasons. We can talk about loans and we can talk about all that other stuff, man. But, we just got to grind. If we're not wasting it on bullshit, value and overvaluing J's. And I'm saying if you like Jordans and you can afford them, cool. But if you wasting your whole check on some fucking, already, appreciate it, Bex5. Appreciate you coming through. The thing is, like, you gotta apply the shit to yourself, and you have to find a way to win. If you can't afford certain shit, quit trying to live like the fucking keep up with the Joneses, because the thing is that we as a people of holler, we broke to everybody else, but then to ourselves we talk down on those who are just a little bit broker than us. You know what I'm saying? If you'd pull up to the school with the motherfucking, instead of George, you had the Hakeems on, motherfuckers would be trying to clown on you. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers would be trying to clown if you had the Shacks on or something. You know what I mean? Who was it? The Marberries. No, Marbury was there one, and he changed up, I think. But if you had some other shit on, you wouldn't, man, motherfuckers would try to clown you, but knowing they ain't got shit. No telling what they mama did to get the money for them J's for you that to get them hoes. You know, the rest of your outfit bummy, but you got some J's on. Like, motherfuckers gotta get away from that bullshit, man. We gotta get away from that mentality. If you can afford it, do your thing. If you know $200-300 ain't shit for some shoes, go do your thing. But at the same time, there's a lot of other much classier shoes that you can spend that kind of money on, and you know that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother game. You know, but you do what you like. But my thing is, we gotta get away from false values and the fake bullshit. But my people, them T-Mac, straight up, man. But my people, my folks. All right. So here's the deal. All right. As we getting ready to start winding shit down, I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in first and foremost. But let me kill that right there. Make sure y'all are following the Den on all the proper social medias. Facebook.com/Den Show Live. Go like the page, and on the page there is a link to the Facebook group. So if y'all just want to chop it up throughout the day on various topics, or you know, we crack a little jokes, post a little funny shit up in there too. So make sure you can join that if you're on Facebook. I know a lot of y'all youngsters be like, oh, that's for the old folks. My grandma on Facebook, I don't fuck with it. Twitter and Instagram, same name, different platforms, @Den Show Live. I generally try to keep the updates there if you want to rock with it. And for those of you who want to follow on my personal Instagram and Twitter, it's Ed Honcho, EDHONCHOHTX. That's for Houston, Texas. So Ed Honcho HTX on Twitter and Instagram, same deal. Again, if you want to contact, even when the show is not live, can you see me? All right. 1-833-284-3336. Again, 833. The number 2, the Den is the easy way to remember that. If you ever want to call, you know, just drop something on a voicemail, you know, want to add in maybe a topic idea, suggestion for the channel. Constructive criticism is always appreciated. You can also do the same at denshowlive@gmail.com. And if you want to tell a friend about the Den, tell them, hey, every night, live, 10 p.m. Central, from 10 p.m. to midnight. TheDenShow.com. You know, tell a friend about the Den. And all that being said, oh yeah, we still trying to pursue the goal. I said I was gonna get the numbers. I gotta get the numbers. I have all that tomorrow. Streamlabs.com, The Den Show. Shout out to everybody who has shown love. Shout out to everybody who has supported. Shout out to everybody who is trying to make this come true. Because I'm telling you, look, we're trying to be bigger than Joe Rogan. We're trying to be bigger than Eric Foster and anybody else who be doing it. We're trying to be bigger than Theo Vaughn. All them motherfuckers, man. We're trying to step this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, when it gets more profitable, we blow up. Hey, the Den might get longer. But right now, well, I'm trying to manage between the Den, the sauce, and grow both of these things. 2 hours is the power. Yeah, it does feel short, but it is what it is. But hey, I appreciate everybody who came through. I'm gonna try to make a short video tomorrow. Depends on what's shaking. Like I say, I'm gonna figure out what's going down and going from there. But I appreciate everybody who came through this evening. And again, we'll be live tomorrow. Sunday night confessions tomorrow, man. Y'all better have some good confessions. Look, you know, I know who to expect good confessions from. I'm waiting to hear some shit from some of the rest of y'all, man. Don't be afraid. You know, we gonna keep what happens in the Den stays in the Den until it blows up on YouTube. Then the rest of the world know what the fuck you was doing. You degenerate motherfuckers. Nah, but shout out to the denizens, friends in the Den. Excuse me, Den folk, and good grief. And make sure that, yes, make sure you set your clocks back and all that other good stuff. But hey, man, I'm your host at Honcho, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for letting me be your host this evening. With that being said, y'all ain't got to go home. It's still early. You can go lose an hour in the club if you want to. But I gotta get the fuck up out of here, man. I'm gone. Hold up. Twerk. Oh, y'all ain't to the music. Fuck it. I fucks with y'all. Appreciate y'all.